Ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Frank Omalape. In our major story, federal government shifts resumption date of schools nationwide to October 13. Also in this program, Enugu lawmakers impeach Deputy Governor of the state, Sunday Onyebuchi. President Goodluck Jonathan pays glowing tributes to late former Information Minister Dora Quili at funeral mass. Outside Nigeria, son of former U.S. President Jeb Bush hints at presidential interest. Who's elected? Thank you for joining us again. We begin tonight as the federal government has shifted resumption date for both public and private schools nationwide to October 13. Education Minister Ibrahim Shekarau met on Tuesday with state commissioners of education over the development. He was also in attendance with the health ministry and its officials. Deliberations centered around Ebola and how to stem its spread. Speaking before the closed-door session, the education minister noted that the disease is too serious to be treated with levity.
The Ebola matter, the apprehension, the concern of the community, the parents, and all those of us in the education industry. But for us to be well guided and to be well informed, our ministry decided to invite the people in charge, that is the Federal Ministry of Health, to address us, tell us what Ebola is all about, what measures we need to take, not only at our personal levels, but in particular as it concerns the innocent children that are placed under our care. Because this is our most important primary responsibility. The well-being of the children that are placed in trust in our hands. And we have the moral responsibility to ensure that before recalling these children, we put in place measures that will assure parents that there is safety, and we allay the fears of the parents.
There appears to be good news as Nigeria now has only one known case of Ebola virus 38 days after the disease was brought into the country by the late Liberian-American Patrick Sawyer. This is because 2 of the remaining patients have been discharged from the isolation ward in Lagos. Health Minister Onyebuchi disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja.
is the 38th day since the Ebola virus disease was imported into Nigeria by a Liberian American. As of today, the 26th August 2014, Nigeria has had 13 cases of Ebola virus disease, including the Indes case. Of these 13, 5, including the Indes case, unfortunately, did not survive the disease and are now late. However, 7 of the infected persons were successfully managed at the isolation ward in Lagos and have been discharged home. 2 of the treated patients, a male doctor and a female nurse, were discharged yesterday. Both of them primary contacts of the American, Mr. Patrick Sawyer. Both of them were discharged yesterday evening, the 25th August 2014, having satisfied the criteria for discharge. As I speak to you, Nigeria has only 1 confirmed case of Ebola virus disease, a secondary contact of Mr. Patrick Sawyer's and spouse of one of the physicians who participated in the management of the Indes case. She is stable, but still on treatment at the isolation ward in Lagos.
Meanwhile, the Lagos state government has again provided state use update on efforts aimed at curtailing the dreaded Ebola virus disease. The State Ministry of Health reiterated the collaborative containment and case management efforts of the state and federal government at a meeting with journalists in Lagos. Anita Fatiji has details.
Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Jude Idris, says distortion of facts and outright falsehood being spread on the social media has been a major challenge, creating unnecessary and unavoidable anxiety and worries within in the polity.
A critical and pervading challenge is the issue of rumors and false stories being disseminated, especially via the social media. These continue to create unnecessary and unavoidable anxiety and worries within the polity. They have the capacity to undermine the efforts being made to contain and manage this outbreak, as those who ought to present themselves for treatment may get discouraged. Malign government in the face of residents and first stigmatization of individuals and businesses.
321 contacts, according to him, have been screened and tracked, with 159 others discharged on completion of the 21-day surveillance.
Cumulatively, there are 13 confirmed, including the imported case and 1 suspected case. The suspect case is awaiting confirmatory test results to inform the next line of action. Currently, there are only 2 cases, 1 confirmed, 1 suspected, in isolation at our treatment facility in Mainland Hospital, Yaba.
He, however, emphasized that there is a need to report every death and obtain Ebola-free documentation to facilitate the transportation of outbound corpses from the state.
Under these circumstances, there is a need to report every death and obtain Ebola-free documentation to facilitate the transportation of outbound corpses from the state. Those deaths that have genuine documentation, proper death certificates, they need to be given some kind of documentation here for them to allow them to move out of state for burial to other states.
The commissioner warns the public not to stigmatize all cases and contacts that have been given a clear bill of health and urges them to facilitate their reintegration into the society. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Ebola.
The United Nations Ebola envoy David Nabarayo says the fight against the epidemic was a work which could take 6 more months, as the global health body claimed the disease was affecting an unprecedented number of medical staff. Nabarayo, a British physician appointed by the United Nations to coordinate the global response to the crisis, was in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown, for the 5th day of a tour of the region.
Ebola, it's not a battle, it's a war that will require everybody working together, hard, effectively. I hope it will be done in 6 months, but we have to do it until the job is complete. I'm obviously doing everything I can to combine my understanding with a really strong request to everybody: help us find a way to continue having airlines fly into the capital cities and the provinces of the affected countries. The purpose of this visit was to understand the nature of the outbreak as it is now, and to identify ways in which the response can be stepped up so that the outbreak can be stopped as quickly as possible. Findings are as follows. It appears that the outbreak is still advancing, and it's advancing in many parts of the country. The way to stop the outbreak is well known here by everybody in government and in the partners. But the response is complicated.
UN officials are pledged to step up efforts against the lethal tropical virus, which has infected more than 2,600 and killed 1,427 since the start of the year. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more stories. Stay with us.
I'm so happy every day because I'm healthy and strong. Playing, jumping, here I go. Scott's Emotion helps me grow.
A daily dose of Scott's Emotion, which combines omega-3, calcium, vitamins A and D, supports the healthy development of your child's brain and body. Scott's Emotion promotes active minds and strong immunity in growing children. New Scott's Orange Flavor Multivitamin Emotion.
Nivea Nourishing Body Lotion. Its effective formula with Hydro IQ gives your skin deep and long-lasting nourishment for skin that stays moisturized all day long. Look great, feel great, with deeply nourished skin. Nourishing Body Lotion from Nivea.
Glad to have you back on CoreTV Primetime News. In case you're just joining us. President Goodluck Jonathan led members of his cabinet to pay tribute to former Information Minister Dora Akunyili at a Requiem Mass. The mass, which was held at Lady Queen Pro Cathedral, Area 3 in Abuja, also had former head of state Yakubu Gowon in attendance. Speaking at the event, Jonathan described the late Akunyili as the embodiment of selfless service.
Today, our dear sister Dora has left us, but to my brother, Dr. Akunyili, I've also listened to Bishop Cooker's sermon on the virtues of a good wife, characteristics of husband. We have to thank God for my children, the children of our late sister. Yes, we are mourning your mother. It's not easy for you to lose such a mother, but you should be very happy because our works, our interactions with men have given you an identity that silver and gold cannot give you. Her addressing, she's a Nigerian woman wherever she goes. her character and disposition, her love and passion for the country is a lady that will hardly leave our memories. Let me also condole my countrymen and women, because Dora is one of these few Nigerians that have made the whole country proud. I thank you, my brothers and sisters. May her soul rest in peace.
Enugu lawmaker sends deputy governor out of office. According to this information, report says that the members of the Enugu House of Assembly on Tuesday impeached the deputy governor of the state, Sunday Onyebuchi. Onyebuchi's impeachment followed his indictment by a 7-man panel of inquiry, which investigated allegations leveled against him by the lawmakers. The panel, in its report, held that Onyebuchi was guilty of the allegations brought against him. Members of the House adopted the result of the panel after the House leader, Ude Okoye, moved a motion for its adoption. Ude Okoye, who sponsored the motion on notice alongside 21 other members of the House, noted that the motion was in line with the provisions of Section 189 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which provided for the removal of members of the executive arm of government. The motion called for a resolution of the House to consider the report of the investigation panel on the allegations of gross misconduct of the deputy governor, and that the House, having carefully considered the report of the investigative panel, adopted it. Onyebuchi was accused of running an illegal poultry in his official residence as offense according to a resolution of the House, and also refusing to represent Governor Suvile Chime at official functions in spite of a directive from the governor. The deputy governor had denied the allegations, insisting that he was witch-hunted for expressing an intention to contest the seat of the Enugu East Senatorial Zone, which is said to be reserved for the governor's chief of staff, Ifeoma Nwobodo. The crisis rocking the All Progressive Congress since the emergence of John Oyegun as its national chairman in June this year worsened as one of its national chairmanship aspirants at the party's convention last June. Tom Ekeme has announced his withdrawal from the party. Ekeme, in a statement made available to journalists in Benin City, the Edo State capital, says the decision is with immediate effect. He has insisted to lead the party, which as one of the founding fathers. The APC leadership has in the last 2 months also paid Ekeme several visits in his Edo County home to persuade him not to abandon the party. Ekeme had in the last few months stayed away from the All Progressive Congress party activities, bringing speculation to the bear that he has quit the party. The decision confirmed the speculation that he is no longer a member of APC. He has, however, not officially announced his intention to the next move. As the People's Democratic Party in Osun State prepares to file its petition to challenge the victory of Rauf Aregbesola at the August 9 governorship election, the second advisor to the legal committee of the PDP, Bolaniwa Abidoye, has dumped the party for the APC. He also described the PDP's case at the tribunal as dead on arrival. Rashid has more in this report.
It is in the norm of politics in Nigeria to experience defection, especially when a major election is on its way. But it becomes spectacular if such happens after the election. Bolaniwa Abidoye, until his defection, was the legal advisor to the Osun State PDP and the secretary of the PDP's legal committee. Welcoming Abidoye amidst pomp and pageantry at the APC secretariat, Boyega Famodun, the secretary of the party, says Abidoye's defection is a vindication of Aregbe's victory.
He's joining the party for what the party is and what the party has achieved. Abidoye has been a politician in the state, and he has been watchful of what has been going on before, during, and after the election. So he's coming over to us today. It's a vindication of what we have been saying. It's a testimony to the hard work of Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola.
B. Adelowo, the chairman of the APC in Osun, says the coming of Abidoye is a homecoming for the former legal advisor, as this points to his progressive mindset.
If the legal advisor of the party, PDP, is coming to us and he's telling us this is the truth, that there's no point going to the tribunal, to waste his own time. That I'm coming over to join the party, good party. That I want to join government that's going to develop this state. So it's not just, he's not a pushover person. Not somebody is joining the party for the based on its principle, based on the fact that the PDP lost the election. Guarantee. And this is the party that won the election. That let me go and join and make the states for better.
As the PDP heads for tribunal, Abidoye says PDP loss in August 9th election is natural. Thus, its loss at the tribunal is imminent.
With the result of the election, it is clear, convincingly clear, that some people have spoken. It is left for the tribunal to determine. But what I know very well is that cases in court are not fabricated. They are placed on facts and figures. The facts and figures on ground shows that Ogbeni Rauf Adesoji Aregbesola has won convincingly with people's vote and genuine vote of some people. And I think whatever the decision of the tribunal will be at the end of the day should not be discussed at this level. But what I know is that nobody can fabricate anything at the tribunal level.
With an arrowhead like Abidoye abandoning the PDP challenge at the tribunal, one can only imagine the outcome of the case the party intends to file to challenge Aregbesola's victory at the August 9th governorship poll. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
Meanwhile, the Osun State People's Democratic Party has described as unfortunate the defection of its former legal advisor Bolarinwa Abidoye. The publicity secretary of the PDP in Osun State, Bola Jao, says Abidoye's defection points to the fact that he has been unfaithful to the PDP prior to the August 9 election.
It's unfortunate that he had decided to do what he did. What is most unfortunate is that this is coming barely 16 days after the gubernatorial election. And this will put to very serious question his commitment to the party ab initio. The success, the victory that awaits PDP at the tribunal, he has nothing to take away from it. I assure you, we have unassailable evidence on ground that will unearth all the iniquities surrounding the so-called victory of our opposition.
He added that Abidoye's defection will not in any way dim the chances of the PDP at the tribunal. Moving away from there now, President Goodluck Jonathan on Tuesday engaged the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Adamu Mozu, and some state governors elected on the party's platform in a closed-door meeting. The agenda of the meeting, which was held inside the presidential villa Abuja, was not disclosed. None of those who attended also spoke with journalists at the end of the meeting, which was also attended by the secretary to the government of the Federation, Pius Ayim. The PDP governors who attended the meeting include the chairman of the party's governors forum, Gospel Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State, Liali Imoke of Cross River State, Ibrahim Shimar of Katsina State, and Ibrahim Dankwabo of Gombe State. In a bid to encourage reading in Nigeria, the Nigerian Army has organized a book fair to rejuvenate reading culture in the country. This was the highlight of the 2014 maiden edition of the Nigerian Army Library Services. Oluwashi Adigoke has more in this report presented from our studios.
The theme of the 2014 edition of the book fair is rejuvenating the reading culture in Nigeria, empowering the citizenry through books. The central focus is to improve the reading culture in Nigeria. The director of the Nigerian Army Library Services, Charles Bossman, says Nigerian Army is taking the initiative beyond the military to the society.
The culture cannot be imbibed by the library alone, but it has to be from the family, from the teacher, and from the librarian. If those three are put together to work together, I'm sure they will be able to surmount some of the challenges we're having regarding reading culture in Nigeria.
Critical time like this, with the aspiration of other well-meaning Nigerians in combating literacy and promoting the culture of reading as one of our combative strategy of making sure that we bring back the reading culture into Nigeria. You can actually become a professor without listening to any professor, but by going to the source, by learning the art of reading and that is why we are here.
The president of the Nigerian Library Association, Ruwa Abdusalami, and the guest speaker at the occasion, Ayodele Nelson, say everybody should work together to revive the reading culture in Nigeria.
I think this it's a giant stride, you know, in the right direction. Reviving the reading culture, not just out there in the soap operas, but even within the military. We've been gingered. We do hope that that will ignite that reading culture within us, in the military and even in our command schools.
Organizers say promoting reading culture will improve the nation's human resources that will champion the much expected sustainable development.
Lagos State government says there is no intention of reversing the state traffic law. Governor Babatunde Fashola stated this at a stakeholders meeting with transport operators in the state. Abiola Luwale was there. His report is presented from our studios.
In the words of government, the enactment of Lagos Road Traffic Law in 2012, which barred commercial motorcyclists known as Okada riders out of the 10,000 roads in the state, has to a larger extent curbed crimes and avoidable loss of lives. The stakeholders meeting is organized to find a common ground between government and motorcyclists in the enforcement of the law. Speaking on behalf of the commercial motorcyclist, Ade Kweson pleaded with the state government to relax the enforcement of the law in areas like Ikorodu, Ekpe and Badagry. He also decried unseasoned harassment of their members by law enforcement agents across the state.
We are not restricted. Even they go to houses at night. Some have one first time. I want to where these men went to houses at night, 2 a.m. to wake up at bag and took their bag and is that part of enforcement? And several other cases.
Clarifying that the traffic law is meant to ensure safety of residents, Fashola asserts that the Lagos State government will not sit back and watch commercial motorcyclists breach existing law in the state.
If the road, no pedestrian can walk because you are doing business. It can't be like that. And the complaints we get is that some of the members are not saying all. So I want to clearly understand some of your members ride their motorcycle dangerously. Some of them have caused death. On the road in broad daylight, it was the motorcycle that they used, driving against traffic, shot the left car door, and jumped on the other side of the road and drove away against traffic.
The governor, however, taxed them on voluntary compliance to the traffic law.
You're watching CoreTV Primetime News. After the break, Sabana Izoko will be standing by for business news. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Nigerians continue to travel
the city of Lagos.
There is still a poor level of
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west and around Africa. We break the news.
We are one Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV,
a 24-hour news station.
Welcome you to From the Ivory Tower. On happenings around the country, varsity teachers get to air their views. Students are actually not left out. We bring you intellectual ends from the events happening around you. It is dedicated to educating the populace with a spice of entertainment.
From the Ivory Tower, Tuesdays, only
on CoreTV News.
You're welcome to the world of business with me, Sabina Izuku. The first embedded power plant in the country, which is built to generate 13.2 megawatts of electricity, is built to be commissioned within the next 2 weeks, according to sources close to the project. This is coming on the heels of the recent efforts put in place by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, to ensure that the gaps in the power supply in the country are bridged through embedded power generation. Olandiji Isida, project coordinator, told journalists that the plant is owned by the First Power Limited, the leaseholders on the old Ijoran Power Station in Lagos, and has 2 generators with capacity of about 7.5 megawatts and 5.5 megawatts respectively. Asida says the plant is expected to get its gas supply from Gas Links Nigeria Limited, as the gas supply and purchase agreement has been entered into by both parties. Embedded power generation refers to power generation which consists of smaller modular generators using a variety of generation technologies such as solar, wind, biomass, diesel, low fuel oil, high fuel oil, crude oil, and small hydro. The Nigerian mutual fund industry has expanded to 186.5 billion naira, going by the latest official asset size value released by the Security and Exchange Commission (SEC) for August 2014. According to the regulatory body, the expansion has come on the back of some good performances by specific funds, as well as by new entrants into the Nigerian mutual fund scene. Money market funds, which primarily invest in short-term liquid assets like Nigerian treasury bills and commercial papers, have seen their assets grow by 122.9% to 59.12 billion naira from 29.5 billion naira at the beginning of the year. Treasury bills yields have averaged 11.29% across 90 days, 180 days, and 360 days tenor from January up until August. The equity trust fund subsector has subsequently exploded by 1,012% to a 3.12 billion naira industry from previous value of 277.8 million naira at the end of the fourth quarter 2013. The bond-based fund subsector also recorded 10.02% increase in net asset value, and the real estate funds registered a marginal uptake of 2.27%. And on the West African crude oil, the Nigerian crude oil differentials held at the lowest in around 5 years on Tuesday, with traders saying slack demand from the Asia and weakness in competing grades meant there was little prospect of recovery anytime soon. About 68 cargoes for September were still available, even while most of the Nigerian program for October loading cargoes has emerged. Only around 2 Angolans cargoes for October loading have traded on the spot market a week after becoming available. A total of 55 cargoes, or 1.7 million barrels per day, available for October loading. In Nigeria, Kwatbo was valued at around dated Brent plus 90 cents a barrel. Offers for October cargoes were scarce so far. Kwatbo will load 12 cargoes, the same as in September, while amounts to a lower daily loading rate due to the greater number of days in October. And on the stock market report, the equity transaction on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The Nigerian Stock Exchange All Shares Index depreciated by 104.25 points to close lower at 41,235.25 basis points. Market capitalization decreased by minus 0.38% to close lower at 13.61 trillion naira. In all, a total of 178 million shares valued at 2.03 billion naira were exchanged in 4,524 deals. Report shows that Can Oil PLC topped the gainers chart, followed by Nigerian Brewery PLC, Wabco PLC, Dank Cement PLC, and UPL PLC. On the other hand, Capri PLC led the losers chart, followed by Guinness PLC, Okumu Oil PLC, Ashaka Cement PLC, and Owando PLC. Meanwhile, here are the top 5 trends. And that's it on business news. Franco Malapel will join you later for the rest of the news. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Usain Bolt storming, no, he takes Puyol with a flying lead.
Bo taking them out in the lead.
And in sports now, the race to emerge the king of goals in the Nigeria League this season is as exciting as that of the championship with Ighodalo Sagona and Peter Ebi Mobowe, joint leading scorer with 13 goals each. There are still 13 rounds of games to be played this season, and Rangers striker Osagona and Ebi Mobowe of Bayelsa United will most fancy their chances to earth their tally. Ironically, despite their leading goals return, their clubs are struggling on the league table, and they are being closely chased by Linfon Udon of Enyimba, Rabiu Ali of Kano Pillars, and Bola Salami of Warri Wolf, who have scored 11 goals each. The former 3SC striker Osagona has stated he will love to set a new goal-scoring record with at least 21 goals by the end of the season, while Enyimba striker Fon Udo says his target is to score 20 goals. Bayern Munich have officialized the transfer of Roma's Moroccan centre-back Mehdi Betatia on Tuesday afternoon. The defensive ace is set to sign a 5-year contract with the German champion, targeted by Chelsea and Manchester United. The 27-year-old decided to settle in the Bundesliga. Bayern boss Pep Guardiola had been looking for a replacement for injured Javi Martinez, who has been ruled out for several months after tearing his anterior cruciate ligament against Borussia Dortmund in the German Super Cup earlier in August. Benatia has joined Roma in July 2013 on a 5-year contract from Udinese after making his career's debut in France. His transfer to Bayern is estimated at around €30 million. Manchester United have signed Argentinian winger Angel Di Maria for a record fee of €59.7 million from Real Madrid on a 5-year deal. The Argentinian completed his medical at Manchester United Tuesday and has since been unveiled as a United player. He is expected to wear the iconic number 7 jersey made popular by the likes of George Best, David Beckham, and Cristiano Ronaldo. United last broke the British transfer record when Leeds United was paid €29.1 million for Rio Ferdinand in 2002. The deal will also eclipse the club record of €37.1 million splash out to sign Juan Mata from Chelsea in January. England midfielder Frank Lampard has announced his retirement from international football after a career spanning 15 years. The 36-year-old's 106th and final cap for his country came on June 23 when he captained England in their final World Cup game against Costa Rica. Lampard says in a statement released by his management company that the decision to retire from international football was a very tough one. His haul of international caps put him 6th in the all-time England list behind Peter Shilton, David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, who announced his England retirement last month, Bobby Murray, and Ashley Cole. You're watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break. We'll be back with stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Glad to have you back on CoreTV Primetime News. Now, outside Nigeria, the next presidential election in the United States will present an interesting look as Jeb Bush, the popular son of former President George Bush, looks a lot like a presidential candidate traveling the country meeting voters. A former Florida governor admits he looks back fondly on his time in public office. Now, many Bush supporters are recommending he take a path trodden by many former governors and run for president. That family includes two former presidents, Jeb Bush, his brother George W. Bush, and his father George H.W. Bush. But unlike the previous President Bush, Jeb Bush speaks fluent Spanish. That's helped boost his popularity with Hispanic voters. The Republican Party knows that they need a candidate that can connect with Hispanics and connect in a rare way, in a believable way, and Jeb Bush may be that person. Bush is spreading a tightrope on immigration, an issue important to many Hispanics, with some of his fellow Republicans taking a hard line on the influx of child migrants from Central America. Jeb Bush says he plans to make his decision on a presidential run later this year. The president of Russia and Ukraine hold key talks with little hopes for a breakthrough in the conflict pitting the former Soviet state against pro-Russian separatist rebels. Kiev ratcheted up tensions by announcing hours ahead of the talks it had captured 10 Russian soldiers on its territory, while Washington accused Moscow of escalating the conflict with repeat military incursions. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko and Russian leader Vladimir Putin have met in Minsk alongside top EU officials and the leaders from Kazakhstan and Belarus in a bid to diffuse tensions that some fear could trigger direct hostilities between Russia and Ukraine. U.S. National Security Advisors slammed Moscow for military incursions into Ukraine using artillery, air defense systems, tanks and troops, representing a significant escalation in the conflict. Kiev has long accused Moscow of stoking the separatist insurgents raising in its east, but this is the first time Ukrainian authorities have claimed to have captured soldiers from Russia's regular army. Moscow has repeatedly denied any involvement in the rebellion in Ukraine and demands Kiev halt its punishing offensive. Well, that has been the show tonight on our Primetime News. Many thanks for watching. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Frank Omalape. Have a good night rest.